Alright, so please be aware that the following content contains risk and I'm not a financial advisor. Everything that I said is suggestions and solely for entertainment purposes only. That also is for trading, paper trading that I'm not responsible for. So today I would like to share three tickers: FLGT, BIGC, and FUV. Let's start with FUV. So FUV, we talked about it last week. Well, I shared my quick video on this one that it was a possible for short squeeze, and I believe I released on the March 8th, and it's been going up very well. The reason I went on long this one was because the heavy volume on the hammer closing, and it's doing decently ever since. So I'm not touching this play anymore because it's up in a decent amount, and I'll just let it. I'll move on to the next. And the next one is FLGT. So FLGT actually had a very nice earnings last week, and the stock hasn't gone up much. Is because from what I'm understanding is that the institutions are loading, meaning that they will try to grab as much as shares possible before they go for the all-time highs perhaps. And it's certainly possible. And the reason why I'm saying that is because their earnings were fantastic. You could reach out to their websites, look through their earning results, and you see yourselves. And so through the technical analysis that I'm seeing is that I am seeing a possible inverse head and shoulder, meaning that is a so that's the head, and then that's the left shoulder, and then that could be a potential right shoulder. And my projection for this one is awfully the break of 115 and towards the higher price. Now this one is also a short squeeze potential. On FinViz, it says that the share flow is about 14 millions, and then the short flow is 28%, meaning that this is, if it squeezes, it's going to be beautiful. And this one for the option trading is a little bit tricky because the bid and ask is hugely spreaded, meaning that sometimes if you fill the mid, if you put the mid between, you're not gonna get the fill. So what I did for the past week, I was just basically scalping by hitting the ask and then selling the bid when the stock gaps up or runs up. But for a safer trade, it's obviously going a month out, meaning that you could go for maybe, let's say it's 135s or above. But please do keep in mind that this is not a guaranteed perfect setup, because there is still potential that they will sell this down back to the $81 area. So please have your risk and risk management. And then the final stock that I'm going over is BIGC. And this one, it is an e-commerce stock, basically. It's sort of like a Shopify, but a smaller version of that. And the reason why I'm looking at this one is because of a repeated pattern. So if you look at it weekly, you see that, all right, let me remove this. You see that on the channel that I drew, it actually, for every touch of the bottom channel, it bounces to the up, and then rejection to the bottom, and then repeatedly. Now, this is showing a bounce of the bottom channel, meaning that this has a potential of vacuuming back up towards the upper channel. And through my indicator, it's actually showing that the squeeze is happening. So if you see previously that the squeeze, they're turning. When they're turning, meaning that there's a potential, it's not 100% guaranteed, but there's a potential of squeezing the stock. And then from here, it's a selling volume. You see this is red, 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 and then turns yellow, meaning that it's changing the directions. And then we have a huge squeeze. And squeeze, 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 back and forth. And then we have another selling volume, 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 and then it's a potential squeeze. And I really like this part. The reason why I am long with BIGC is because of this section. It's a nice consolidation with a reasonable increasing volume. Now, this is certainly not the strongest, but I am definitely looking at least, I'll say 90 by mid of April. That's a possibly move. And this one is not too much of a short squeeze potential. It's only about 15% short float, meaning that the short squeeze might not happen or might not be as strong as the ones I mentioned before. But it's definitely a doable play. So these are the three stocks. Actually, now FUV, it's a pass. So these are the two stocks that I'm currently watching. And next week I will actually opening up this one. So as for the option tradings, I'll most likely go with, give it some time, maybe a month out, meaning that from the day of the reversal, so it'll be somewhere between April 5th. And this one only has monthly options. So I am actually looking at this one, 90. So, wow. So actually there's a lot of open interest. So you could play safe by buying closer to the money, or if you would like to compound, you could go with maybe 85 or 90. I'll probably go with 90 because it's a reasonable risk and reward. Please do keep in mind that this will not work 100%. There is a possibility that the stock goes down and back to the $50. So please be careful with what you're playing. Do not risk more than what you can afford to lose. And most importantly, good luck to you guys. Showing the divergence, meaning that it's going against the market. So this is the line for SPY index, and then this is the graph for FLGT. My thesis is that if the market goes down, this obviously has potential of going even further down, or this could be a safe haven. Now, by safe haven, it means that the money will rotate into growth stocks because this one has an excellent earning, and so they'll try to put money where they feel comfortable with, or where they feel safe. So it's definitely to see how it's going to turn out, and good luck.